Hi, I'm Chan. I wanted to talk a little bit more about what I was like growing up as a kid. I was so incredibly shy, okay? I was so quiet. I was always the type that would be in the back of the crowd, right? I would never want to be the center of attention kind of thing. And I would only speak if I was called on. I never wanted to just, make myself known or occupy space as a kid. And yeah, if over the years too, something that I would get asked so much is, Chan, why are you so quiet? Like, why don't you talk more? And that's the most terrifying thing to be asked if you're quiet. If you know, you know, okay? And I hated that. But that was just who I was. And yeah, and my voice was so soft spoken too, in that whenever I talked, I would always get asked or just be like, oh, can you say that one more time? What'd you say? And then whenever I presented, I know that no one could really hear me because I wasn't that great at projecting my voice either. Okay. So, just to paint you a picture, that's who I was growing up as a kid in elementary school, middle school, a little bit of high school, but yeah, we'll get there. But high school, a little bit after high school, college is when I really just started to blossom into someone who was more social or extroverted or just not as quiet and still shy, I would say, but just coming out of my shell. And part of that was because I met, or I had this community, this group of friends who really just helped embrace who I was and who I am as a person. And I'm a little bit of a weird, quirky person, I will admit, but they made me feel very comfortable, just to be more of myself, more of my true self. While yes, I do have this community, this group of friends that really celebrate who I am, at the same time, I found that unknowingly, I also was losing myself in my relationship. And after the relationship ended as well, I had to really just completely rebuild who I was as a person, my sense of identity, my self-confidence, my self-esteem, all of it shattered, and just had to rebuild it from the ground up. So I thought. So something that I wanted to do was to work on this, right? Work on not being shy anymore, or just work on my people skills and just putting myself out there and just being able to talk to strangers without so much anxiety and just so much like, ooh, I feel so shy, So when I went to Japan, that was one of my goals actually. It was just to just be more comfortable in these uncomfortable social situations that I normally wouldn't put myself in. So I booked hostels for all my stays, and I decided, if I had a comment I wanted to say, or if I wanted to say something, I would just say it to people, to strangers. Okay. So I am so happy that I went on this trip, and yeah, I'm just so happy. I feel like I learned so much about myself just from putting myself out there and from talking to strangers, right? And just interacting with people, because even if it's just for a minute, 2 minutes, hours, or just no matter how small or big the interaction was with everyone that I came across, I was able to learn something about myself. And I think, yeah, you really can learn from every interaction with every person, because everyone's different, and everyone either, shows you a part of what you want in yourself, or for your partner, or for, a friend, or they reflect back some piece of you that needs healing, or they show you what you need to work on or what you want. So what I'm trying to say is, everyone that you meet, everyone that you talk to, there's always something that you can learn from. And I'm so thankful that I pushed myself to do this in Japan, to really put myself out there to talk to strangers, because I learned a lot about myself that I don't think I normally would have been able to if I didn't set this goal for myself, So from all the different people that I met and interacted with and just spent time with, I learned a lot. Not only did I learn a lot, but I also, just lots of ideas and perspectives were reinforced, and just really put things into perspective for me. And so, some things that I've learned from all the different people that I met was just to enjoy my youth, right? There's beauty in every little thing in everyday life. And something that I struggled with I thought, okay, this is also me just comparing my life to other people, but at age 27, even though I am still young, I do find myself just thinking I'm so behind with my career or with my love life or with just life in general, right? But there was this one individual I met. He's an older gentleman, but he was also struggling too, right? Struggling to find his path, his career, his passions. So people are at different stages of life, and we're all just trying to find our way, right? And we're never too old to find our way. So that really helped me to just, remind myself that I'm not too old, and there's still a lot of life left, right? A lot to experience. So another thing that I learned on the trip was that so before Japan, I really wasn't sure of whether I wanted to pursue any kind of relationship with anyone. I feel like I had just so many priorities, so many goals outside of that I want to work on before jumping into anything. But I've realized, from meeting people, that I do want a meaningful relationship. I do want to build something beautiful with someone, and some of the people that I met really helped show me some things that I would want to look in a partner. And so I am very thankful for that. And it's really taught me a lot about what I value and what I value in a partner that I want to, share my life with. So not only did I learn a lot about myself and what I want in a partner romantically, I also learned a lot about what I want for myself and in my relationships in general, right? With my friends or with my family. Something that really stood out to me was that when I joined a group of people when I was bar hopping, is that they were just, throughout the night, were bantering back and forth and just challenging each other, having debates all night. And that's something that I really like. And I would like that in my friendships, for them to challenge me if, I say something out of pocket, or if I have some beliefs or perspectives that, are not so good or not so, healthy. I'd want people to challenge me. I'd want people to really help push me to develop perspectives or to grow in certain ways. So and then I think one of the most important interactions I've had was with this lovely woman in a karaoke bar, and I just found her so beautiful, so just mesmerizing and so just attractive. And I was thinking about it, I was like, why? And I it's because she was just so authentically herself and just so confident in who she was as a person. I think that's what made me so just mesmerized by her, you know. I think so that taught me, or that, I don't know, maybe just reinforced the idea that there's nothing just more attractive than being your authentic self. Nothing more attractive than that. And you will attract that same kind of energy if you are authentically yourself. And yeah, I think this just goes back to the whole concept of being shy and, you know, just, yeah, the concept of being shy. I think what being shy really is just the fear of not being accepted, right? The fear of being judged, or just the fear of thinking that you're not good enough. And that stops you from being your authentic self. But it's that very thing, just being shy, that stops you from making these meaningful connections with other people. And that stops you from, you know, helping you realize who you are, and, you know, helping you to develop that sense of confidence to be authentically yourself, right? It's that idea, or just if you label yourself as shy or quiet or things like that, you already limit yourself to what you can be, or, you know, your truest potential. And yeah, I think that as humans, we all crave meaningful connections. We all crave to be seen, to be heard, to connect. And I don't think we can do that if we're not authentically ourselves. And if we are ourselves, I think it's not that hard to connect with people, to form meaningful connections. It doesn't have to be romantic, but just, you know, any kind of connection in general. So I know it's a lot harder than what I'm saying, to just put yourself out there and just talk to people, and don't be afraid to be shy. But, you know, what's the worst that can happen, right? Or I guess not even, I guess don't ask like what's the worst that can happen, but ask instead what good can come from it. And lots of good can come from it, right? You learn more about yourself, as I did. You have the opportunity to create meaningful connections. There's just so much good that can come from just putting yourself out there, talking to people, and just, you know, not limiting yourself to being a shy person. Because once you break past that, you know, there's so much good can come out of it, you know?